Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of B2B for Partnership Development. And in this one, we're going to be focusing on how to create a simple piece of content out of our own operations. So that's why it's called One Blog Out of One Visit. So, reviewing what are the objectives of having a B2B support for partnership development, these are generating content about our partners, using this content to communicate our brand voice, and drive viewers to our products. Now, if we can remember what was this little funnel that we talked about previous week, we talked about like this way of like leading people into a sale. And we talked about these stakeholders, formats, and platforms, and now we're going to focus on partners and the format of blog. And why is that? Because this is pretty much the simplest way that we can generate some sort of content in a way that it's coming from our own operations and we don't need to do something that much extra so that we can actually attract more people. So, how can we start doing this? The flow of easy content. So, let's say that this is your typical partner or alumnus in which you usually meet one per week, let's say. So, every time you're going to meet this one, you're going to bring, like a new one, you're going to bring with you a microphone, which is in your phone. And once you are having this microphone, you do an interview. So you will tell your partner that, oh, so just give me this like next 10 minutes because we're doing this kind of interviews to our partners. We're going to publish and they're going to be on our blog. They're going to be all excited because, oh my God, I'm so important. I'm going to be in their blog. And then you publish the blog and then you use the circles that you have because you're going to publish a blog with the face and the name of this partner. You're going to publish on your LinkedIn, for example, and he's going to be tagged and he's going to be sharing because he's going to be feeling so important. And then the more he shares and the more people around him sees that kind of content, the more this will reach other people. So this is the flow of easy content and it's very, very simple. So how does this go? Partner meeting or alumnus call. Actually, like it doesn't really matter if like you're on a phone call with your partner or if you're actually meeting him, but it's always easy to produce this kind of content. Then you just need a simple smartphone recording. If you're on the phone, it's better that you have two phones, one with loudspeaker and the other one just recording. And you're gonna have a personal interview that adds value, exposing the brand values. And this is something that needs to be done at least once a week if you're gonna start doing it. Because once you start producing some content, people need to get used to this kind of message that you're transmitting. And in the end, you're gonna share it on your Isaac LinkedIn and share with the person that has actually like is the main character of this content. So that hopefully this is going to be repeated, and it's going to be shared on their own channels or alumni newsletters in a way that you can spread how actually these people that are working with Isaac have a meaningful story to tell, and that you can tell their story by including Isaac brand there. So, once again, the flow of easy content involves a partner, a recording device, which is your phone, producing a story about this partner that is going to be shared in his own circles, and the more you produce, the more people it's going to reach. As simple as that. Now, examples. This is an example of Isaac Mexico, and this is the one that was of an alumnus, which is now the CEO of a startup. And this example follows a very like simple story of who this person is, what is their company, how actually it started, how was the experience with this company and Isaac Mexico, how do you believe that a leader should behave. By being an entrepreneur, some problems will come up. How do you believe a leader should face them? And how do you believe that ¿cuáles consideras que son los retos más importantes que no? And what do you think are the most important challenges that young leaders of Mexico face? How do you believe that uh, com- companies and young Mexicans can grow with like this win-win relationship? And so this is just an opinion type of blog that can bring out a little bit of the person's life and experience and connect with our core and our brand. So in the end, these stories needs to be compelling and they need to be personal. So when you go into examples of questions, possible questions, we can use questions like this. Like starting with the simple, like if you could change the world with one simple action, what would you do? What would you do at your work? What do you do at your work? Could you change the world? Do you believe that your job defines the person you are, or is the person you are shaping the result of your job? What keeps you doing? What has been the role of leadership in your past so far? And being Isaac a youth leadership organization, how does it connect with your company? So we can take different approaches of questions as long as they're personal and they tell a story that we connect with our brand. And that is the main point, that we tell a story that adds value to the reader, that is not pushing our product, and adds value to our brand. But do we think that this is enough? Let's say that we produce one of these stories per week and we use it in our sales and we use it in our emails. Do you think this is enough? Well, we actually don't think so. And that is why, like, if we all do it together, actually, we can produce a very good amount of content for the whole Americas. Because imagine that each entity creates content like this. How cool could that be? And imagine that your co-MCVP is actually providing you this kind of content. Like, they just say, hey dude, like actually I did some interviews, we have the same type of companies, like I have here, let's say I have here Bosch, you also have Bosch, and we did an interview with him. You could share like on your own pages, or you want to sell to Bosch, so why don't you use this interview with our partner from Bosch? And imagine that you are also providing to your country partner, because this is always like a give, like you need to give in order to get back. So you'd have constant original content to share that tells the stories of your own partners. And better, it is social, which can generate a digital conversation that will send, in the end, people to the COP. So the whole point is that we're able to produce content that is going to bring a conversation to our LinkedIn. Because if we only publish once or twice, it's going to be irrelevant and people will not really like pay attention to it, because it's not even going to show on their feeds of LinkedIn. But for example, if we're publishing it like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, the same amount of content that we are like expecting, taking it from different countries, then we're gonna have something meaningful to start growing our channels. Because if we don't have a team that can produce content for us, then we need to use what exists, and the best way to do it is start sharing content from each other. Because imagine that this is all the companies that exist in the Americas, and they keep on growing and growing, and more people, and we try to communicate to them, but they keep on growing, and we try to communicate even more. So the more they grow, the more we need to communicate, and the more we need to align our message and share the content that we have, so that we can reach them from all sides. So this is the basic idea of why we should be sharing content and how we can start creating some small amount of content. And here is a tool in which we could start placing the content type that we have to offer. Let's say that here we would put like, okay, so this infography, here's the link of the drive where I put it, and you can definitely share it. And here is my the name of my entity, and here's this quote that it looks very cool. Here's the name of my entity. This is a video that we did. Here's the name of my entity. Just go out and share it. And then here are like suggested times to publish it and when to publish and these kind of things. So this is just a tool that will really enable us to start. And who is joining us? Well, we're starting with Mexico, Panama, and United States that I have already confirmed that they will be sharing content and that they have content to share. So the question is there, are you going to join us too? So thank you so much for this second episode, and have a great time producing your first piece of content. Good luck!